Okay, episode 48.
Episode 48 of the world famous
The Wasteland Podcast.
The Wasteland Podcast.
The world famous The Wasteland Podcast.
The Wasteland Podcast. There's a
A
lot
of stuff happened while we were out.
Yeah, well,
We have game stonks.
yeah.
We have
We talked about that a little
Major... what's her name? Marjorie Taylor Greene?
bit.
Marjorie. She spells it like an ignorant woman.
Well, she is. She's an ignorant slut.
Not like Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Who's not an ignorant slut. Anyway.
I don't know how I should take that, son.
I don't know. Okay. First of all, we're trying really hard to be the Senate slut. No one gives it to us. Working really hard.
At least he doesn't let... I don't know.
I hate you so much.
He doesn't let businesses bend him over.
Yeah, that's true.
He's not a slut to big businesses.
Ministry.
Yeah. Spin facts.
So, yeah.
The fact
A lot
is...
of stuff happened, but I don't really give a shit about any of it anymore. Because it all happened while we weren't podcasting, so it doesn't even matter, you know, when you think about it.
That doesn't have any bearing on any of our lives. Because we weren't podcasting.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Well, I mean, if I was actually in on the Reddit stuff, and I actually put money towards GameStop, then maybe. But all my friends who got into it did it after the fact, and they're all just like chasing those stonks, and nothing's really happening from it. They're just like, oh yeah, I invested in AMC. Oh yeah, now I invested in silver. Oh yeah, now I invested in BlackBerry. Now I don't know if they're even investing in Dogecoin. They're just investing in all sorts of shit.
I got Trevor to invest in Dogecoin.
Trevor invested in Dogecoin,
and that actually is going up too.
Well, Elon Musk is like every day on Twitter being like Dogecoin, because he loves this train ride. So.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Elon Musk is a big part of all this stuff. He's the one who suggested to do GameStop, and everyone actually did it. So because he knew what they were doing, like he knew they were shorting it.
Right.
So he's like, well, fuck it. Fuck that shit. Fuck
well,
them up.
It's public information.
Yeah. And so...
They cut on.
And Mark Cuban also he did a AMA on Reddit. The guy that they based Wolf of Wall Street off of, he said stuff.
Yeah.
I still think it's going to happen, but there's a lot of... They're definitely, like, manipulating the media. Like you said, a lot of your friends are buying silver and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're actually doing that in order to... they own pretty much silver.
Right.
So you're basically giving them money so they can pay off the interest on GameStop.
That would make sense because, they need to do something. And fighting fire with fire might be the best way to do it because, they've lost a lot of money over the GameStop stuff.
They've lost several $1 billion.
Yeah. This has really hurt a lot of like hedge funders, so hedge fund people. Which a hedge fund is when you use money that's not yours, right? It's like
it's like
you're using borrowed money.
So like rich people pool all their money together, and then the hedge fund invests that money for them.
Yeah.
So
So this is like fucking them up, basically.
It's basically
it just ruined their hedge fund. So
I mean, they're all insured, so they're gonna get their money back probably, but
that. Whoever's running it is fucked, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know how the hedge fund works, but I know how the shorts work.
Explain the shorts.
So basically what they did is they borrowed stock from someone and sold it really high so that when the market drops they can buy back the stock at a lower price.
Right.
And give it back to the borrower and make money. But since it went up instead of going down, they had to buy stock, so they lost a bunch of money because they had to buy stock to give it back.
Yep. So, oops. Maybe you shouldn't short businesses all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think my guess is that midway through March, we're going to watch it do what it's supposed to do if they quit fucking with the, like, doing illegal shit, basically. If they
yeah.
quit doing illegal shit, I think midway through March, a bunch of people are going to make a lot of money.
Yeah. I would love that. I mean, I'm just now getting some money I can throw around, so I would love it if we could wait a little bit longer so I can invest myself.
Is GameStop still high?
It's at $48 right now. $48.
Yeah.
Well, probably wouldn't be a good idea to invest in GameStop now, right? It'd be better to invest in like one of the other ones.
It could be. So the the data just came out from these last 2 weeks because they do the every 2 week report. And basically, what the hedge funds have done for the last couple weeks is they've continued to short the share so that it artificially drives down the price, but they've driven it down so much that if the math I saw was correct, that they're at 192% of their float, meaning they have to pay back every share twice.
Yeah.
So
hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Fuck them.
Well, I guess we should just do Revolution 2.0, make GameStop twice as much. Let's see. You guys always put likes on YouTube videos. You always put the likes up higher and higher each video. I want to see the stock prices go up. Can we double it?
10 grand.
If we can double it,
10 grand.
If we can double the GameStop stock prices, I will post a picture of me in a funny hat. You guys want to see this? You guys want to see this? Don't trust me. You want to see this? So let's get those.
Only wearing a funny hat.
Let's get those stock prices up. Let's get those stock prices up, people.
If we can get it back to where I at least make my money back, I will post a full nude of myself. Like
spread butt
cheeks. Like make the butthole wink. Like I do want that money back. Like
how much did you put in? A lot.
Too much.
And now it's basically down from then.
So I'm just gonna say the numbers, I guess. I put
you don't have to say the numbers.
$1,300 in, and now it's worth $250.
Yeah.
So if this doesn't go up, I just don't have any of that money anymore. I think it will go up, but it's very like.
That's why,
I'm really like sweating that right now, honestly.
Yeah, I would leave it for now because a lot of people just put money in just to fuck up the billionaires.
Yeah. So that's kind of why I did it, but I thought it was actually going to happen.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't like, but a lot of people who had the chance to make a lot of money were like, "Oh no, fuck my morals," and just like pulled out.
Yeah,
and also it doesn't help that Robinhood. Okay, we can talk about Robinhood. Robinhood isn't letting people. I think they are now, but I think it's limited. I think right.
Not anymore, but it was.
It's unlimited now.
For a full week, it was limited, and they actually.
And that's when this shit mattered the most because that's when the news was spreading. So they kind of fucked it up in a
and
way.
It was illegal.
And
it was market manipulation.
Yeah, that is market manipulation too. They have an excuse that like they had to follow procedure, but there is like no procedure involving like prices going up like that.
So from what I've seen, Citadel is
they own a big chunk of them, right?
Or
they pay for them or something.
They're the backer for the hedge fund.
Yeah,
and then they sell Robinhood all the shares that Robinhood gets, and so Citadel basically said like, you can't fuck over our hedge fund anymore.
Yeah.
Quit selling GameStop and AMC.
Yeah.
Or else. And
you know who's going to look bad in the situation is good. I mean, they're going to both look bad, but Robinhood's going to be the one that suffers because you can be a billionaire company and you can make profits from the shadows and you can get people to stop saying your name.
Yeah.
But Robinhood as an app is going to go away. And if they kept it up, I think now people still like Robinhood because
my drink?
I think I don't know people like Robinhood more than other stock apps.
It's got a really good user interface.
Yeah,
but
like what they pass it off as is the shares were volatile.
Right.
Oh, they're too volatile.
They're trying to protect you.
Yeah, they're like, we got to protect you from these volatile stocks.
We're trying to make it volatile.
Yeah,
we're trying to do a fucking.
But with other volatile stocks, they don't fucking care. They'll let you throw away your money. But it was just this one. They're like, oh, we're trying to protect you.
Bitcoin could go to 0 right now, and they wouldn't care.
Right.
Like,
it's true that a lot of people probably, if everyone did invest in GameStop, a lot of people who invested early on might have pulled out, but I don't think it would have gone down to fuck people up that bad. Like,
Yeah.
because the amount of people putting it in. So, I mean, my friend who invested, and he invested in like AMC and some other ones. Some of them he did as a middle finger to the billionaires, and some of them he's like playing the stock market now. But like he was always playing stock market. He always was a stock market guy. But like the GameStop one, and I think some of the other ones like AMC and BlackBerry, and I know Nokia was one too. But I don't know which ones he did it to fuck them. But he's like, yeah, that money is not mine anymore. He's like, I'm fully aware that I'm donating money to piss off billionaires. That's the point. And it's like, yeah, if you have some money laying around and you want to piss off the billionaires, please, by all means.
Yeah.
It's a cool, because I mean, you use your money for such useless shit half the time anyway.
Right.
At least this is like a cause. It's like a good cause, you know? So.
Hopefully. Or they'll fuck everyone over like they usually do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still waiting for that, honestly. Like
The revenge? The revenge arc? Or what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, so the guy who started all this, they're bringing him in front of Congress in March.
He didn't do anything wrong. He just said something. He just said, hey, let's do this.
He didn't even say that, because that's technically illegal.
Yeah.
All he said was so he was on Wall Street Bets.
What he said was like, if this happened, then this would happen or something?
Pretty much he was just like, I like the way this company looks, and I'm gonna buy several million shares of it. Yeah. With my life savings, and then a bunch of people jumped on board with him.
Yeah.
And so he's going in front of Congress, but not Robinhood?
So it's going to be Citadel, Robinhood, and his name is...
I don't even care
his username is Deep Fucking Value. So it'll be Deep Fucking Value, Citadel, and Robinhood.
The memes from this have all been really good, too. Where it's like, the 3 richest men in the world. And it's like
big anime titties 69.
It's like it's like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, retard 69.
There's a potato in my ass.
Yeah, potato in my ass. Well, yeah. No, I don't even care if Robinhood gets that much in trouble. Who needs to be in front of everyone needs to be Citadel. Like these people do this all the time. We just never care. The only reason people care this time is because people are fighting back and it's got a good narrative to it.
When you have a little bit of like
we never talk about
your own cash in there instead of like taxes where you're not thinking about it, it's like people are like, oh, I'll put $100 in this or whatever, and then Wall Street fucked them over.
It's like the 2008.
Yeah, the 2008 crisis was like the banks were like, what was it? It was like the banks
they were
all of our no. There was loans. They would be like, hey, you should pay money for these loans that we know aren't going to go anywhere, and we know it's going to basically fuck everyone over who's paying for the loans.
Yeah.
And then they're going to use that money on hedge fund stuff, and then everything fucking went to shit. So like, oops, we fucked over everyone and then got fucked ourselves.
Yeah.
Bail us out, please.
Yeah. So what they did is they gave out a bunch of like really risky mortgages to a lot of people who couldn't pay it.
Yeah.
And they knew they wouldn't pay it.
Yeah.
But they spread it out over so many people. They're like, oh, even if one fails, we still won't get hurt. But then they all failed.
Yeah.
So they just crashed.
Yeah.
But then there were also people betting on the loans that people wouldn't be able to pay them off.
Yeah.
So those people made a bunch of money, but the banks just went to shit.
Yeah.
And they're like, can you bail us out? Because we're...
So the only one who got hurt were the normal people.
Yeah.
That's how my grandma lost her house.
Yeah.
Was because of that.
And it caused it caused the housing crisis, but that also caused our economic recession going on in 2008 that Obama had to fix. And for a while, there was not only because it's an economic recession, jobs were hurt too. So it was just a horrible time. And it's like, and then we just there was no punishment for that, and now they're just doing the same shit over and over. Not that way. They're not doing it with bad loans, but they always are doing this. They're using hedge funds and they're using shorts, and it's just like we just let them do this shit.
Yeah.
That's why Occupy Wall Street happened, because people were sick of this shit, and now this is like Occupy Wall Street 2.0, but it's better because we're like directly attacking their money versus standing outside of places. So.
When it's virtual, so there doesn't like what you're saying.
So
like
cops can't pose as protesters and then start riots like they did in the real Occupy Wall Street.
But the hedge funds are sponsoring bots, and actually, right now, I don't know if it's true, but there's a a viral screenshot going around saying that you can get paid $200,000 a year to spread misinformation on Reddit.
Yeah.
About stocks.
Well,
by these hedge funds.
That's what people do with bots for political campaigns already. They do that. I don't know. I'm not going to say Hillary did it or Trump did it, but people were doing it in their name. And
yeah.
It's just a literal strategy you can do now. So, and that's what that's how the rich do things. They just make fake people. But the funny thing is, you can normally tell, and then you can make fun of them.
And that's mostly what's been going on.
Yeah. It just sucks though that happens at all, because some random Facebook moms are gonna get fooled by it, and it sucks. But it's like, and also it's just dirty and literally pure evil. So,
But yeah. It's so funny seeing them like cry and being like, we need to stop the poor people from killing us, from attacking us.
Some people,
it's a direct attack on the rich.
Yeah. There's that one video, I have to put the clip in now, of the guy being like, this equal opportunity is bullshit. Equal opportunity is like bullshit. And then he said he's like, now everyone deserves a fair share. He said something like literally like that.
Yeah.
He's like, you can't just demand a fair share. Which is like, yeah, it's a revolution.
Yeah.
And then he was like, this is just an attack on the wealthy. And it's like,
yeah.
The reason the market is doing what it's doing is people are sitting at home, getting the checks from the government, okay? And this fair share is a bullshit concept. It's just a way of attacking wealthy people. And, I think it's inappropriate. We all got to work together and pull together.
You're the reason why a lot of people are poor, though.
Right.
You started the war.
Yeah.
And the war was that we were being dominated. We're like your slaves, basically. And now we're retaliating, and you're mad. So you can say this on TV, but we're all saying it on Reddit and Twitter. We have our ways to communicate. People don't need TV news. That's the thing. And less and less people watch the news, which I think is bad. But it kind of has to happen because people don't trust the fucking news. So
because the news is owned. MSNBC has been pumping out this Citadel shit this whole time.
Oh, Jimmy fucking Kimmel. So there's a few episodes ago.
Yeah, him too, yeah.
A few episodes ago when Jeremy was like, I just watched Jon Stewart stuff and I fucking love him.
Yeah.
And we started talking about Jon Stewart stuff. And that night after the podcast, we started watching Jon Stewart stuff because Jon Stewart's based. He's the most based man there is. And he got on Twitter, got verified just to say the Redditor people are innocent and fuck the billionaires. And Jimmy Kimmel was like, is this Donald Trump talking? And then he got online and on his show, not only did he fucking call out Jon Stewart, which is like, you just don't do, former Man Show host Jimmy Kimmel, you just don't do that. Okay? He had Daily Show, you had girls jumping on trampolines, okay? You're not there. You're not on his level. But not only that, he also had the Karl Malone thing, which everyone always rips on him for if it's blackface or not. I still go back and forth on that one. But it is weird that he got in full black makeup to do a Karl Malone impression. Which is
who?
Like Karl Malone, who's a basketball player for Utah Jazz in the 90s. It's like, that's why you're doing this? But anyway, then on his late night show, which no one likes Jimmy Kimmel. I hear people talk about Jimmy Fallon and Stephen Colbert. And everything else is like the other shows, like John Oliver or something.
Yeah.
Nobody ever fucking talks about Jimmy Kimmel. So I hear about Seth Meyers more than I hear about Jimmy Kimmel.
That's because Jimmy Kimmel sucks.
Yeah, he sucks. He's literally a mouthpiece for like Democrats. There's nothing going on in them. He's just like, and he's not even that good at it. He's not even that good at being like a charismatic guy. There's no soul. It's so weird. It's so weird. But
it's crazy that his show has gone on for as long as it has.
His show is basically, during his opening monologue, he started suggesting that the Redditor people were all Russian assets or something. And it's like, is that literally the only thing neoliberals have, is to claim everyone's a Russian asset? It didn't even work the first time when there was actual links to Russia trolling us. When we actually knew that Russians were like spreading false information in America and on purposely fucking with us, it didn't even work then, because you can't tie that to like a certain politician. It doesn't work because we know they're just spreading misinformation in general. So like for you to be like, the Redditors are. This is all Russia, dude. Russia's fucking up our economy.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Well, and they're all going with the narrative that the Redditors are a bunch of gamers who were just bored, had nothing to do.
Oh, people kept trying to link this to Gamergate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, first of all, you're giving Gamergate a lot of fucking credit. Because that shit was about, like, tits and video games.
Yeah, I didn't know what Gamergate was about when Gamergate was a thing.
Yeah.
Like, I remember just, like, seeing, like, JonTron post about it. Yeah. And he was like, is he pro Gamergate? Is he anti-Gamergate?
He got so mad at JonTron because he was, like, he slightly made fun of anti-Gamergate. And they're like, oh, you fucking hate gay people. But that's when JonTron made his famous quotes about how immigrants aren't, or what he basically defended white nationalists.
He said, what's the?
He said
black African Americans, despite being only 15% of the population, commit something of the crimes.
He said He said wealthy black people commit more crimes than poor white people, which is actually just not true. That's just a made up thing. Like, Republicans will repeat that over and over, and it's like, show me where you got the statistic ever. Just like they do the same thing when they say actually more white people were killed by black people or by cops than black people, and they say actually more black people were killed by other black people than cops, and you look up the info, and it's like only the FBI says that, and then every other. Because it depends on how you get the numbers and how you generate it.
Mm-hmm. Also,
so you can manipulate numbers and statistics super easily. So
that's kind of like a no shit kind of thing, because if cops are killing any percentage of the population,
it's going to be
over more than that same group is killing themselves. We have a bigger problem there, because that means they're just rolling through the street, just popping people. Well, they're not supposed to be the criminals. They're supposed to be the good guys.
The actual truth is they attack and pull their guns out on black people twice as much. Like, they kill black people twice as much as white people.
Yeah.
And so anytime people ever bring up that, actually, the police kill a ton of white people, maybe they won't say they kill more, but if they ever say, they kill a lot of white people too, it's always like, so you agree, this is a problem. That's
cops shouldn't be killing people?
If they're killing black people twice as much, and you're saying it's not a big deal because so many white people are being killed... that it's fine, and it's like, I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be killing that. You should only be killing people, and when they're threatening people, I guess. It has to have an actual threat on someone else's life, right?
Right.
Otherwise, you should try to take them in or something. But half the time they kill people over literally nothing. They'll kill people over the guy at Walmart who had his BB gun, and I think we talked about this before. It was just in the shopping cart. The gun was in a shopping cart, and it was a BB gun. And a guy called the police on him because he had a gun. And the police went up and killed him. And the black dude's response was like, hey, what's up? What's going on? And they just shot him. He didn't have the guns in the cart. And
was it
it's a BB gun.
Was it something he was buying?
Yeah. No,
so it was in a...
Literally, he's probably buying it for a kid or something. Or maybe he actually just
BB guns.
But
and BB guns are always packaged in cardboard and shit, so it's
it was just out, but
oh really?
And I think that's why someone was scared. But it's just I think you can buy. I mean, it probably was just out because I doubt he took it out of the packaging.
Even if he did, that's not an excuse to shoot him.
The cops need to. Tamir Rice is the popular name because he's the 12-year-old who was playing with a BB gun outside.
Yeah.
And Republicans like to say, even my dad likes to say, yeah, but he pointed at a cop and he was pretending he's going to shoot the cop or something. That's why they killed him. But there's actually video of it. And the video is the kids literally playing this off to the side, and they just pull up and fucking dome him, and then fucking... It's no, he didn't point a gun at anyone. He probably didn't even realize what was going on because he's 12. They literally just came up and killed a 12-year-old boy. And I understand that some kids look older. There's no way 12-year-old looks over 18. That's just not true.
Yeah.
But 16-year-olds can be scary. 14-year-olds can be scary. 14-year-olds
I've known
can
14
do shit.
Yeah. 13, 14-year-olds can be easily built bigger than me.
Yeah.
And
they can be scary and they can be capable of doing really bad things. But that kid didn't... You have to ask. And the thing is, if it's a white guy, they're going to say... put down the weapon or something, or they're gonna say
freeze motherfucker or whatever.
Something. Give them a chance, because even if they're a kid with a real gun, if they're 14 and you're a cop, they possibly just drop your gun because they're just a kid.
They're scared.
So I mean,
yeah,
just for fuck's sake. But anyway, that's a whole different issue. There's a lot of problems with America that we don't address any. I think
all coming out right now too.
Yeah.
Like at the same time, we had so much time to like work this shit out, and then 2020, everyone got locked inside, and they're like, "Why are we putting up with this shit?
Yeah.
Like, let's do something."
me and Doug were talking because you can sit inside the bakery now.
Oh, nice.
So Doug was sitting in, and I was like, "Hey man, I haven't talked to you since literally before the pandemic. Like I haven't talked to him in person. He'll come in, I just wave at him, I never talk to him because I can't really stay inside,
Right?
So I can't really waste his time. So I was talking to him for a sec, and he was talking about how the pandemic's the best thing that happened because our society really needed to examine what we're doing. And I actually argued against them because I was like, we haven't done anything though. Like we just have pointed out the problems, but we just keep pretending things are okay while half the country has no job right now.
Right.
And we're just like, can we help these people? Biden is more people. Okay, it's weird. Dependents will be getting the money this time, but he basically already said, okay, I know I said 2,000 reoccurring. Scratch that. One time 1,400.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if it was occurring 1,400, maybe we could work something out.
If it was a recurring $500, that's still not even bad because that adds up to more.
Yeah, I just want occurring every month. But now it's like we're probably not even see this till April or something, which is like we literally got 600, and that went away in a week for me. I need the money, bro. And he, so dependents will be able to get it now because he had to be. Basically, because Trump and the Republicans, they're like, well, we're not going to give it to anyone who lives with their parents because we believe that parents, no matter what, can always pay for their families under any circumstance.
Yeah.
And kids never need to move out ever. We want to be like farmers where you just work at your fucking home ranch for the rest of your fucking life or something. You just never move. And when you get married, you still live with your parents or some shit like that. They just don't want you to move out. I don't know why. It drives me crazy. They hate teenagers. They hate anyone. Because, you know why? Because teenagers and young adults aren't all already rich. And that means they're poor. And they need to stay poor. Like, you have to be already rich or you have to be poor. That's pretty much how it works. And
I think that's a big thing where a lot of people say, like, oh, a big chunk of America's, like, let's say, like, 50%, because, you know, all Republicans are racist or whatever. And I don't think that. I think most Republicans
are classist, or
they hate poor people, and they don't
even
care.
The poor ones,
the poor, especially the poor ones,
because they appreciate work ethic. Because they've bought into this lie that they've been sold that work ethic matters. It has any value at all when it has none.
I greatly I value work ethic.
Yeah,
but
in a system that works,
that's if work ethic was everything, you could get rich doing just about anything, being just the hardest fucking worker.
Yeah. And
that's not the case. I've known, that every crackhead would be a billionaire.
That's the argument. Well, that's not the argument. But the argument libertarians make has nothing to do with crackheads. But the argument that libertarians make is that, like, in a true capitalist society, you would get paid more for doing a good job because they would be offering you raises and there'd be competition because you're such a valued worker.
Right.
But first of all, you don't need good workers at McDonald's. It doesn't matter if you're a good worker. They just need workers.
Robots,
Yeah. They just need people who are one step further than monkey to work and do those jobs. And I mean, I work a job like that, so I'm not shit talking.
I also work a job that where I'm going to get replaced by a robot in 5 years.
There's literally no way to say work ethic matters in these jobs. A lot of the cases, work ethic, even in like jobs we have degrees and stuff, don't really matter. That's why they use degrees, because they have no way to differentiate who's better than who, because most jobs don't require that much.
Right.
And I hate the narrative that CEOs worked extremely hard to get to where they are.
They worked really hard by being the guy there first.
Yeah.
And then we're like, well, I was here first, so this is my business.
Yeah.
Well, that's not even what a CEO is. A CEO gets hired. They're just like
you're right.
Some rich guy who got rich from his parents or whatever, and they're like, hey, you want to run like fucking I don't know,
like,
GameStop or whatever. Like, yeah, like
the CEO's in charge. They get paid to be in charge, and then they get to pick who gets the most money, and it's like me.
Yeah.
Where it's like you could take less profit and put that money into the business, because people always say billionaires cause trickle down economics, but they don't. They just keep all the money for themselves. So, which is why they become billionaires. Which is why Jeff Bezos could pay for the most expensive mansion in the world, and if you equal it, if you do the math and bounce it out to someone who makes like $50K a year, it's like the equivalent of paying $75. It's like yeah, it's the most expensive mansion in the entire world, but he sneezes that money away. That money means nothing to him.
That's like that's like taking your girlfriend for like a good Red Lobster dinner.
Yeah,
like all the shrimp she can eat.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what he did.
That's what he did. He's like, I want a good night.
Yeah,
I'll buy a fucking mansion. Not just any mansion. The most expensive mansion.
Yeah, they try to make it seem like Jeff Bezos is like constantly working hard, but he just sits there.
He hasn't done anything since 1999.
Yeah,
probably I don't know. Probably
billionaires don't work.
But also, it'd be another thing if he was like the idea guy, but he's not the idea guy. He's the guy who says we can do that.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? The guy with the idea needs the money, and I mean the thing is, most of those people at higher up positions probably make enough. It's the people at the very bottom who are getting used and abused, and they're being exploited. So they need more money, and Amazon's like, well, we pay them $15 now, and it's like
that's still not.
And you took away their benefits.
Yeah, a lot of them they lost their benefits,
and they only get 2 15-minute breaks, which includes bathroom breaks.
Yeah.
So they pee in bottles and buckets around the warehouse.
Yeah. So
that they don't use up their breaks going to the bathroom.
No, I've heard, even before Amazon was in Edwardsville, I heard working for Amazon is just trash, just terrible, which is why I didn't apply. And that's why actually Dakota still works there, but it's why my little brother quit.
Does he really?
I'm pretty sure.
Damn.
Pretty sure he still works there.
Well, now, and, the anti-union stuff all over, and if you even if you dream about making a union, you'll get fired, and you'll get blacklisted from working at any other job. But now, I think Arizona,
they can do that because they're like super wealthy and powerful or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
In Arizona, there's actually a union strike going on against Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But they tried their hardest to block it, legally, and they're like, no, you can't really do anything.
It sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. And that's what. So when people, I was gonna say this earlier, but I saw a few people online, like Ben Shapiro is one of them, simply saying "eat the rich" is not good. And if you're in this just to say "eat the rich," you're bad. But it's like actually saying "eat the rich" is, while it may be simple, all billionaires are evil. Like they don't deserve to exist because they literally exploit everyone. So eat the rich. That's how it should work. We need to get the money back because it's our money. They took it from us. As time went on, they decided we still get paid the same. I think the national minimum wage has been $7.25 since 2001 or something.
Yeah.
It
it went up to.
I'll put in the actual image, but it just doesn't.
It went up to $8.25 under Obama, and that was it.
Federally?
Yeah. I think so.
Oh, really?
So.
Illinois went up to 8 something for the longest time, and we were the only one. I think you're thinking of Illinois.
No, maybe
I'll check it. I'll put in the actual image so we'll know who's right and wrong right here.
Data.
But because there is points. But
so we keep getting paid less and less, or the same.
We get paid the same while prices for living have gone up and up.
And food costs and inflation, while the billionaires are making more and more and more money off of us not getting paid anything.
The billionaires,
and then they spin this lie.
During the pandemic, the billionaires have profited extremely while all of us are suffering.
Yeah.
So it's like they were destroying us. They already had way more than this. Because this has been a problem since 2012. People have been talking about this for a long time, how billionaires need to get back.
This has been longer than that, honestly. This is what I've been reading up on Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah.
And he's pretty much exactly Bernie Sanders with some 1800s racism sprinkled in.
We accept it.
Yeah.
But because that was with the New Deal, right? And
that was
Teddy Roosevelt.
FDR. Teddy was the...
He did Panama Canal. No. He did... Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Panama Canal.
He did trust busting, though, against Rockefeller
Banks,
Oil
yeah.
Company and the banks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he went head to head against fucking... Yeah, Rockefeller and all them.
You have to.
He, like, sued him.
Our government doesn't do it, though. That's why when people say big government bad, and there's certain coworker we have who keeps saying government bad.
Who is that?
I'll tell it later. But
I think I have a...
You probably know, because he's kind of incelish. But anyway,
Yeah.
like most libertarians.
Government
most libertarians, they're either racist or incels. I hate to break it to you.
Yeah, I get that.
And that's not why I hate them. I hate them... That's not me being an SJW saying, I hate them because of this. No, that's just something I've observed why I also already hate them for their economic policy.
I hate that. I don't trust the government. Why would you want a bigger government?
Because that's what big government could do. The problem is America has one of the smallest governments in the fucking world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, other countries have way bigger governments than us.
And we're getting stomped on by billionaires and corporations. And we have a bigger government.
But we just don't attack them. Like, we just let them, but that's because we're being paid off.
And the companies can afford to do that because we have a small government.
Yeah, companies are so profitable that they can, while they're also, let's also remember that food companies throw away 50% of their products every year. Because they'd rather sell it than give it away for free. They'd rather just throw it away.
Yeah.
And
they'll bleach it too.
Yeah.
And we have
so that way it's
3 times as many houses as we do people just in the US.
Yes. So it's almost like we could...
But half of them are empty or something.
Because that literally proves that we've afforded making all those without anyone paying for it.
Mm-hmm.
So they would be possibly making a profit if all those houses were filled, but they'd rather just sell what they can for a higher price. Because they'd rather exploit... Basically, they want to exploit literally everyone, but they'd rather exploit people who could actually pay for it. So the value of things is just all out of whack right now. Like, everything could be different. Everything could be so different, and we'd be working better, and we'd have a better society, and everyone would have more money.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't understand why we put up with this.
Again, they're like, our government doesn't fucking do anything. Why would you want a bigger government? Just fucking vote out the people?
Their opinion is our government mishandles things and mismanages things. If you give the government money, they do bad things with the money. But...
I 100% agree with that, though.
Right.
Like, because they do. Like,
But the problem is that we still have to fight these corporations.
So would you rather have the government, which you can vote in, vote out people, you control who's in the government, or corporations who has whoever they want?
By corporations, yeah.
Right, which is... So who would you rather live under? A government that we control, or corporations that we have no control over?
I'd like to see it be... almost more of a... I don't like big government.
Yeah.
But I don't like no government either.
Right.
Like, I think there should be a very strict structure in place that's just pretty pretty much like you hit a level of wealth, that's not yours anymore. Like you beat the game.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean,
because Jeff Bezos doesn't need that much fucking money. It's insane. If he has more money than Ukraine and 3 other countries combined.
No, I love that whenever it was, what's his face? Who was the fucking billionaire who ran against Bernie and Elizabeth Warren and Biden? Bloomberg.
Yeah.
When people made all these graphics of how much money Bloomberg had, and it would be like, here's Pete Buttigieg, he was the poorest at the time or something. Here you get to Elizabeth Warren. Bernie Sanders, he's a millionaire. Woo! And then it goes up and up and up. You get to Biden. Up and up and up. Where's Bloomberg? When is Bloomberg going to be here? And it's the entire NBA with all the teams included. Okay, we're still going. And it was it was naming all these naming and it's and then there's one man. Because he was worth $44 billion something dollars. And it's dude, you can do anything you want. I mean, part of why... Look, I'm not saying all billionaires are rapists. But Jeffrey Epstein...
But all rapists are billionaires.
That's true. No, wait, no. That is not... Wait. But Jeffrey Epstein, the way he would get away with it sometimes was he was funding girls to go to college and their dorms and enough money to basically do whatever the fuck they want. That way they'd shut the fuck up. Most families can't afford one child going to college. we all have to take student loans. Epstein can send multiple girls to college, pay for their housing, pay for whatever the fuck they want, and then rape them over and over and over and get away with it. So, while he's also raping so many other people. So, I mean...
And selling that off to other billionaires.
And then meanwhile...
So, who will pay for free college
Meanwhile, his pocket, not hurt at all. He can still go to any fancy party he wants and do whatever the fuck he wants.
But who will pay for free college, Tyler? The people will. No, the multi-billionaires who have enough money to...
Bernie's plan was like, yes, we might pay more in taxes for healthcare, but taxes, that had nothing to do with his plan about college. His college plan was literally an increase, and so was Warren's, too. Both of their plans involved increasing a tax on the wealthy. The wealth tax, which she's been talking about recently again because of all this GameStop stuff, people are like, oh, Warren doesn't say shit. Dude, Warren became popular because of Occupy Wall Street. The first time I ever heard about Warren and Bernie was in 2008 talking about Occupy Wall Street. It's why I got excited when Bernie ran. And I wanted Warren to run back then, because Warren used to be cool before she became a total sellout bitch. But Warren has been talking about the wealth tax, because if you tax the billionaires like a small percent increase, we could afford so many fucking things.
Even if it was
and
like...
they'd still be billionaires.
I know.
They'd still be rich as fuck. It doesn't hurt them. I don't know why they fight this so hard. They fight it so hard.
Okay, so if you...
Because they'll make slightly less. They don't even use the money. They're so addicted. And when you have an addict, you gotta intervene. You can't just let them do whatever the fuck they want.
If someone had a $50 billion and they had a 50% tax on their $50 billion, they would still have $25 billion, which is enough for 10 generations.
And we're talking about like a 5% tax or like a 2% tax.
Right.
Well, and then on top of that, you're still gaining interest on that as well.
Yeah.
So even if you took your example of taking 50 off,
which,
$25 billion with a 3% interest, and you only get taxed at $50 billion that much, you're still making money.
Yeah.
You made more money on interest of your $25 billion than I'll make in my entire life.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's not good enough for them. Yeah, you know what? But you know what the conversation's about? In 2016, we were talking about raising the tax 5% or 6%, and some people even wanted higher. But what the talking point was we can't do that. And then people were in the 60s and 70s, it was a 10% tax on the wealthy. The wealth tax was 10%. And then it's been lowered and lower. I think it's really low. It's 1%, 2%. I'm pretty sure that after Trump, I think that was Obama numbers. I'm pretty sure after Trump, they pay less in taxes than we do.
Yeah.
But,
makes no sense.
With Eisenhower,
no sense.
It was 90% wealth tax.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's insane. They used to get taxed an insane number. Yeah.
Why? Okay.
But guess what?
It doesn't make sense. It logically doesn't make sense. Why is someone with no money paying more in taxes than someone with all of the money?
Because if you have money, you make the rules. And it doesn't have to make sense because you're in charge. We have an oligarchy in this fucking country.
Exactly.
Yeah. An oligarchy is a government run by one family, basically.
Right.
It's run by money.
Yeah, we're run by money. We're run by a wealthy family of different people.
I don't get how anyone could try to defend that and be no, we shouldn't raise taxes on the wealthy.
And, but that's how they get a lot of Republican people is well, you just have bad work ethic. And it's I take the work out of this and just realize that you could be so much richer and say don't take this as a challenge with stride. This is where toxic positivity comes in. Don't take this challenge in stride. Be smart. You are being manipulated. They are playing you. You are a chump and a fool. Because you know how they got rich? Was not through fucking work ethic. They got rich from outsmarting the system.
Or their families, or...
Yeah, and so...
fucking over poor people.
But that all started from them outsmarting the system.
In other countries.
They
use slave labor.
They use slavery.
Nestle is still using slaves like chocolate.
Oh my god.
All of them.
Nestle is so
phone companies
bad.
is just nothing but children making phones in other countries.
Yeah.
And it's
Nike, Apple, and Nestle can burn for
and why do they do that? Because they pay way, way less in tax. But you know who's getting that tax money are the other countries, because they pay those other countries way less in taxes, and so America gets fucked while they profit off of the fact that Americans will buy their products.
This is the
solution. You can't sell those products in those countries because no one will fucking buy it in those countries.
My friend had the solution of...
I can't wait for this.
Of we shouldn't have a minimum wage so that all the companies will come and employ all of the Americans,
right?
So that we can compete with other countries for labor. So then we will be slaves instead of the other countries. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. Why? Why?
That's like, we want worse. Like, conditions aren't worse enough.
I know.
We need the worst conditions possible.
He was like, honestly, I don't think...
Talk about a fucking... talk about like USSR, fascist Russia, or whatever. Like, when people are like, "Oh, communists, they want to be like Russia," blah, blah, blah. Like, what the fuck are you suggesting? Under like true capitalism, which is what they want. With true capitalism, which is like the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
They were like,
capitalism. Thing is, because people always say communism doesn't work. Capitalism isn't even working for us right now. Capitalism doesn't fucking work. But it works if we put rules and regulations in place, which is what we've been doing for decades. And for some reason now we're getting more and more corrupt. It's, I say now, but I mean like before we were born it started happening.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it was like 70s or 60s I started getting really bad. But like we've just been,
Reagan.
Ronald Reagan's pretty much the worst person I ever had. Yeah. And we just keep giving more allowances to like corporations, and now they're kind of controlling things. We're the most like corrupt we've ever been, and it's just hurting us.
He was
and because the news won't call it out because they kind of work for all of these people. That's where they get their money from.
He was literally like,
everything's corrupt right now. So
he was like, I honestly don't think we should have a minimum wage. I was like, so you want to work for free because that's what they'll do.
Yeah. Well, what libertarians say is, I think I said earlier, literally in this podcast, that the companies would all change their prices to compete. Again, that doesn't work because
that doesn't happen.
They just need someone to like do very easy tasks at McDonald's. They don't need you. A Walmart greeter can't prove that they have a stronger work ethic and they can greet people better than other Walmart greeters and get a higher fucking paycheck. No, if they had no cap, Walmart greeters would be paid like 50 cents an hour. I fucking guarantee. They get less than waitress money.
Yeah.
Which is also fucking sick.
Yeah, I can't believe that stuff they do to waitresses is even legal.
$2.50 an hour, like,
and we have to pay. So what does that mean? That means business chains, restaurant chains, who are very wealthy. Obviously, a local diner is different, but a chain that's very wealthy doesn't pay their workers, and we pay them while we're paying the chain for the food. So we're just paying the workers. We're doing their job, and they just get all the fucking money.
Or your food would cost like 50 extra cents if they got paid the same. Which is stupid, but people, they don't...
Waiters and waitresses don't complain because sometimes you can make bank as a waiter, especially if you're at a fancy fucking ritzy-ass restaurant.
Fancy restaurants and bars.
Yeah. So that's why a lot of times they don't complain. But the problem is, while they're not complaining, they're being exploited, and the businesses are just raking in cash because they're not paying for fucking labor.
I don't know why you want to work for 2 cents an hour. It doesn't make sense. Why do you want that? Yeah. Why do you think competition is going to make your...
I guarantee you, if there were no laws, Walmart greeters would have a tip bucket. And it would be the same thing as the homeless people outside of fucking Walmart.
Well, he was trying to say that, companies would compete. Like, say if I went to Walmart and it was $2, well, I don't want to work there. I could go work at a different company that's offering me $3. And I was like, well, except all the companies would be offering the same amount.
Yeah, they're all going to shake hands.
Yeah. Well,
that they don't...
There's proof of that because soda is sold at a huge profit. Soda is extremely cheap to manufacture.
It's like 3 cents a can.
Yeah. And the thing is, what they do is they say McDonald's will make 99 cents extra fucking large soda. That's a huge profit for them, though.
Yeah.
And for I'm fine with it because for us, we're paying like $1, and I'll pay $1 for soda. Whatever. You put in a cup for me. Cool. Thanks. I can't... It's hard to find vanilla orange Coke Zero, so thank you for having that. but the reality is like soda is so incredibly cheap, and they all basically do the same thing. They're all like, we're not going to sell soda for 50 cents, are we? No. Don't worry, we'll never go lower than $1.
Right.
Promise, never lower than a fucking
So
$1.
If competition actually existed, then they would be lower.
I believe cell phones are about the same thing too.
Yeah.
I believe cell phone prices. I don't know about like manufacturing them, but I think like bill wise, everything you pay for at a phone company. I think that was a big problem. Is like there's no competition. Like, why would you go with AT&T or T-Mobile or whatever? At that point, it basically matters on where you live and what has better coverage and where you live.
Mhm.
I can't have anything but AT&T where I live.
That's pretty much all that matters about phone competition, because as far as actual prices, they've all basically been like, we're not going lower than this, guys. We have to like agree on this, because otherwise we're not going to be fucking filthy stinking rich. So like, okay, this is the lowest we're going to go. And that's just how business works.
Yeah, I'm like,
Healthy competition.
I said that competition doesn't work, or it doesn't even exist. And they're like, you can't say that. That's not true. And I'm like, yes, it is. Like, every price everywhere is exactly like the same.
Well, that's the thing. Even if they don't, they can have unspoken agreements. If you don't say anything, it's like, why would I charge that much significantly lower, even though I'd still make a profit? If I can make this much of a profit, theoretically, more people would join over. But it's like, why? If no one has the option, then it's like it's just better to just force people to pay more.
And small businesses can't compete with.
And that's why more people have
Walmart. Yeah,
people will get phones and they want to have Wi-Fi or a computer at home or a laptop or anything. They'll just use a phone with data only because they can't get everything else. So they're like, well, I'm just gonna get a phone because I need a phone for work or whatever. I need a phone to call my family. So I don't need any of that other shit. So like, if you're really poor, you live in a really weird condition where you have like nothing.
Why does that homeless man have an iPhone? Why is he homeless?
I hate that shit. You're like that. I think we hear that less now, but in like the 2000s, people were always like, "If you're poor, you shouldn't have a fucking cell phone." It's like, would he just live in a box and do nothing? Like, what are you talking about?
How do they get work? Him shooting up out there? Like,
how do you get work? You just be like, all right, will you send me a letter in the mail? No. If I need you at work, I'm going to call you. Oh. Yeah, you're right. I'm so stupid.
I sold that because some guy was making fun of me.
Yeah, I just made that up. But can you just call like this payphone that's like 10 blocks from my house? No. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna like be in my car outside of work a lot of the times. You know what I'm saying? You can just go find me in my car. I'll just be in my uniform at all times. Like, of course these poor people need phones. What are you fucking talking about?
So stupid.
Like, I understand when people are like, oh, did you need that 50-inch screen TV? Yeah, I get that, but we're talking about certain things like necessities, like paying for internet is almost a necessity nowadays. I actually like the idea of free internet that's just really shitty. And if you want actually good internet, you pay for it. I would still pay for the internet I currently have if the free option was shit, because people just don't have internet. Those people need the shit internet.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I would say probably at least 25% of my town does not have internet.
Yeah, and I think that's horrible. I think people need internet.
They get stuck in that bubble of like living out there and only seeing those people, and then they hear Fox News say like black people are super scary, and they haven't seen a black person in like 3 years, and they're like, holy shit, black people are scary now, and then they just like flip out and have Trump rallies. And it's like, if you had the internet, like,
it's wild. Well, and I don't know.
I hate it. People actually think that small businesses can compete with like mega corporations.
I know, and
doesn't make sense.
They keep making laws that are like, or people keep saying like, if they do this law, it'll hurt small business. Well, whatever, just make it. If the business makes this much money, then it affects them and not small business. You can't do that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can do that. They do that now. They do with the minimum wage hike. They give small businesses tax credits back, so they're not. So some of that money is government money. That's fine. That's the way to do it. It's because the government pays so much in welfare that this will be less money. So it's fine. You can do that. It's okay. We can attack businesses. It's fine. We used to do it all the time. People act like this is so unheard of. They're like, and that's what they think. Republicans literally think that Democrats are like so unaware of hurting poor people. Like, they've thought of it. I promise you. Bernie Sanders is like almost 80, or he's 80 or something. Like, he's had time to think about this.
This is like almost exactly like 1920 Rockefeller era, right before like unions started getting big and one family owned everything, and like monopolies were a thing. Like, it's getting to that point.
Yeah.
You know what this has reminded me of is around that same era. You know, do you know the the Battle of Blair Mountain?
No.
It was where the president at the time, actually, a bunch of coal miners went on strike because, you know, all the old songs about, like, the company store owns your soul and all that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they went on strike against these big companies, and the president sent the army in to fight these coal miners. And the coal miners ended up winning.
Oh, really?
And that's part of the reason why we have unions, like, still around today.
Yeah.
But, like...
Yeah, people had to literally fight for...
Yeah.
They had to literally fight for that shit.
So I definitely think unions are going to start coming back strong.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, so do I.
I think there needs
We've
to
been
be
anti...
Cop unions are fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Cop unions have got so much work done for them.
Yeah.
So, hey, it works, people.
Yeah.
You can break the law. It's fine.
I definitely think there will be more unions. Because unions have gone way, like, unions are so vilified now.
Yeah. I think average people, like, I think people who work know what unions are, but I think a lot of average people, like, don't really know why, if they're good or bad. I think they're just kind of like, they just don't know much about unions.
Well, and they can go either way.
Unless they have a job where, like, because some jobs you're required to join a union. I think,
Teachers.
Yeah, I think other people who don't have that requirement aren't quite up to date on unions.
Yeah.
Don't realize that you can actually get the stuff.
I think a lot of people don't like unions because when you're forced to join a union, you have to pay like $50 a month or something.
Yeah, you have to do stuff.
It's not even that much, I don't think.
Yeah, it's not that, and they're like, God damn it, these unions are taking all my fucking money and they're not doing it. But then, like, you look back and they're actually doing shit for you,
they're like fighting for
things.
Your rights.
Yeah, things you wouldn't think of they're doing.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are anti-union. One, because of media and their businesses are anti-union, so they put out all this anti-union.
Well, that's the same reason why so many people want lower taxes, and it's like, I want lower taxes if we're going to be spending on what we're spending on, but if we spend on things I actually like, I wouldn't mind higher taxes. Like it's just like. But I need to know what we're doing with it, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's the same thing with unions. If like everything just had a price tag and what you got it for, then people probably wouldn't complain as much. So. Alright, that's our political hour.
Now on to...
That's fine, because I think people like it. I think people like to just sit back and say, preach, boy, preach.
Yeah.
Fight power.
Yeah.
Resist.
Some Republican, was it Taylor Greene? Someone did that recently. They did like the resist fist. I think it had something to do with the insurrection. I don't remember. You want to talk about the insurrection and AOC stuff? Because people Republicans are like literally saying Tucker Carlson. No. Tucker Carlson literally just said the other day that George Floyd died from like either a drug overdose or like a heart attack or something. But he literally just said that. And he presented that on he does like an opinion show, but he just presented that as if that's pretty much definitively what happened. We know that. When it's like, well, what's this video of him being choked out by a cop then? Like, what is it?
I totally am willing to accept that he had a bad heart or maybe even he was on drugs.
Yeah.
I don't think if he had just been like, walking down the street for that 8 minutes instead of having someone have their knee on his neck, that he would have just like randomly collapsed. Well, like I think the cop triggered that, whether he. And
it's one of these things when people say they can't breathe and the cops ignore it because they're used to people trying to get out of shit, and then they just keep like, I don't care, and they just killed someone. It's like, well, there needs to be better training. I'm sorry, like I don't know how else to say it other than, well, you're not trained very well then, because you need to have more patience and be more tolerant.
Did he not have handcuffs?
He did.
No, I think they're literally just trained because they all were pinned him down on different parts of his body and he had the neck. That's why they all should have gotten in trouble and not just him. But
I'm pretty sure handcuffs are good enough.
I'm pretty sure he was already handcuffed.
Yeah.
I think he
was already, because they were putting him in the car, and that's when he was like fucking hyperventilating and freaking out. And it's very clear when you watch the video, he's having a panic attack, and they throw him, which is like, you have a panic attack doesn't mean you're on drugs. It just means you're having a panic attack.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he was on drugs.
He could have been on drugs.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
But you don't kill a guy for that.
But like, I'm just saying, the panic attack doesn't confirm or deny anything.
Right.
He's just having a panic attack. And honestly, if it's your first time getting thrown in a cop car, I understand being freaked the fuck out. Especially if you're poor, black, have a family, probably have no way of getting bailed out. I understand. And also if you are pretty positive you did nothing wrong, or if what you did wrong was literally a counterfeit bill, which I still have no idea if he even knew it was a counterfeit or not, but there's a chance he knew. But I don't fucking care.
I mean, businesses get those all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like the fact that it was traced back to him, like, you do this, it's $20, bro.
Right.
Like, I think I said on another podcast, I will give you $40 to save someone. Like, I'll give you $40 to stop. But you can't even do that to a cop. You can't be like, stop harassing him. They'd be like, get back, or you're in the car next. It's like, no, but don't do that to him. Like, you can't do that. If you record them, they block you on purpose. Sometimes they'll knock your phone away. If they're pissed off, they'll knock your phone away. Like, you can't do anything. You just have to let cops do what they want, and you can't be like, hey, you're breaking the law and harassing someone. Stop it. You can't just be like, what do you do? And you'd be like, counterfeit $20 bill. I'm like, oh, here's $20. Leave him alone. Like, go away now. I'll pay for his freedom. They're like, no, his bill is like 1,000 something, blah, blah, blah. It's like 5,000, blah, blah, blah. No. That's not how, no.
Yeah, you didn't arrest him yet. Here's $20. So
it's like, how are you going to give him a fucking couple grand bail for counterfeit 20? The crime costs $20. I figured out the math for you. Here's $20. Leave him alone. But anyway, Tucker Carlson said that shit, but Tucker Carlson and Republicans have been going fucking apeshit crazy about the insurrection, trying to literally say that people weren't even scared during the insurrection. Trying to say, and their reasoning is that if you watch the videos of the insurrection, it's like the world's shittiest insurrection of all time. But that doesn't mean if you can barge into the Capitol building, something really bad could have happened. And it was something bad just didn't happen this time, but something bad could have. We were close. Something bad happening.
Next time, it will be something bad. If it happens again.
They stole Nancy Pelosi's laptop, and I saw all these fucking bullshit. Because conservatives, the same people who are saying that they were going to arrest all the Democrats on the inauguration day, the same people were like, we got all the information from Nancy Pelosi's laptop, and you wouldn't believe what's on Nancy Pelosi. No, actually, that's not how it works. You see, you remember when Hillary Clinton got in trouble? It's because she was using her government-issued email to talk about her personal shit. Nancy Pelosi is not allowed to talk about anything but public stuff on her government-issued laptop, which is why it was in the building. That's why she's not fucking there. She's not protecting it, because she doesn't give a shit. So everything on that is all public knowledge anyway, because it's literally just to do official government shit. Now, if she was breaking the law like Hillary Clinton was, then it could have been an issue. And this is why Hillary Clinton wasn't supposed to be doing that. Because something that, even though something like this never happens, it happened fucking this time. So, and also, I think we already know Trump does the same thing with his emails. It was really funny. In 2016, we were like, oh, Hillary is fucking her email. Trump does it too. Who cares? And then 2020, it's like, oh, Biden's a rapist. Trump's rapist too. Who cares? They're always the same.
Yeah.
So and so the whole thing is they stole Pelosi's shit and they wanted to hurt her. They took that one dude was taking pictures of all her emails without reading them. He just wanted to have them so he could show them online and be like, we have to go through these emails. It's all public info. There's no secret info in there. It's all everyone knows. Hillary was the only one who really Hillary got in trouble for doing the wrong thing. That's why you're not supposed to do it. So Pelosi was actually doing things correctly, and that's why if you see anything spread online about what's in Pelosi's laptop, you're a fucking moron. So, but basically people were trying to say the insurrection was not a big deal. Of course they would, because they're Republican, and it makes Republicans look bad. Right now, people keeps, I think Nancy referred to a Republican instead of R, referred to them as Q. And that's important because Democrats are going to be pushing that on Republicans for the next 4 years. They say, you are the Q party. You're the people who follow QAnon. You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Wait, Nancy Pelosi did that?
Yeah. She referred to someone as Q instead of R because she's a little bitch, but I kind of think it's funny.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of funny, but Republicans are better at throwing mud than Democrats
Pelosi's
are.
Just really petty. I mean, she's famous for ripping up the Trump script for the State of a Union when it's like, okay, everything bad about his State of the Union is because you sign everything he does without questioning him. So I don't even... While you fight AOC and the progressives constantly, so just fucking go sit and spin. But yeah, but the point is, it's important the Democrats keep pushing this. But that's why Republicans have been fighting back by saying, "Look at the video; it wasn't scary at all. None of you were scared." And then, like, if you look at what Republican senators and Congresspeople were tweeting that day, they're like, "Barricaded in my room. I'm so fucking terrified." And then, like, those same Republicans who said that don't even delete those tweets. And then say, AOC's lying. We weren't scared at all. It's like, how is the lie that AOC wasn't scared? You can't prove she wasn't scared. And your proof is that, well, nothing happened. That doesn't mean she wasn't scared at the moment. That's not how fear works. Yeah. Fear is me. Stephen King has a line that's something similar to, like, the most terrifying thing is, like, the unnatural and the unknown, because you have no control of it, and you can't expect what's going to happen at all. You're just fucking sitting there, like, worried. And so it's like, yeah, of course she's scared. And people are like, she was in this building, and they were in this building, and it would take 10 minutes to get to her. So she's not scared. They weren't going her direction. And it's like, she literally is worried that someone is just going in her direction. She doesn't know. She's not playing a video game and has a radar that shows her where everyone's coming from. She doesn't know. She's scared.
Oh, bunch of red dots over there. Better head towards those blue dots. Like, yeah. You have a blue name above your head. That means you're on my team. Some of the cops have red names above their head. What the fuck's going on? Yeah. What the fuck? There's an enemy spy. Quick, shoot him.
Yeah. Like, I would love that if the cops actually, like, shot at each other. Yeah. That's what they should do in real life, because...
They catch each other committing crimes?
A lot of times when they catch each other committing crimes, they just don't know what to do, so they go, well, I guess I'll just report them later. And then something bad happens. Or they just don't report them later, because like, I didn't work up a nerve enough for this.
It's like 3 pages of paperwork, and like,
I'm sure you won't do it again.
I just want to go home and beat my wife.
That cop who killed George Floyd, that was... I think people probably forgot about this, but... They worked together as bouncers at a nightclub. They didn't really know each other, but they worked the same place. And so it's just funny. It's like they're not even that different of people, but one had a little bit more authority than the other. And so, yeah. That being said, AOC is a queen. I mean, honestly, you don't have to worship her or anything, but I just like to say that to trigger people now, because people hate AOC so much, and their reasons for hating her is just so irrational. It just makes me defend her more.
The bartender shit is what really pisses me off.
Yeah.
Where they like...
Can you believe she was a bartender before she was a politician? Yeah.
What?
Not everyone's job is just being a student at the most prestigious college ever and not working at all until they become a politician.
That daddy paid for. Like, she actually paid her way. Like,
She worked?
She worked.
And then...
She worked hard? What? Yeah. And then Isn't that what all you Republicans cry about?
She had her degree, but guess what? When you're a millennial or a zoomer in this day and age, having a degree doesn't really mean shit. Well, so she didn't have a job yet. So she was she was a bartender or a waitress or something at a bar, something like that. She was a bartender.
So the thing was, her dad died and her mom was about to lose her house. Yeah. So she had to quit. I think she was still in school.
Yeah.
And then she had to quit, like, take a break from her classes, and she went and worked full-time at a bar so that her mom wouldn't lose her house.
Which is, like, becoming all too common. There's like a tweet that was like, this brave little girl told her parents they could use her college fund to help fund... No! Not brave! Rewrite that article. Exploited family... Butt fucked by government.
I know.
And hospital.
Now butt fucking underage girls.
Well, did you see?
No, not okay.
They're doing the same thing with, like, because now, did you see that? Unsurprisingly, Amazon, like, stole all of the drivers' tips and paychecks and stuff.
For delivery people or what?
Yeah. You didn't hear anything about that?
They would make them report their tips and take the money or something?
It was
that's a horrible. You should not. No one should ever have to report tips. That's just awful.
It was something about tips, but Amazon basically just stole it.
Right, just took all the pocketed all
Yeah.
the tip money.
And all the news articles and shit about it were like, oh, Amazon misplaced or mismanaged, and it's like, no, they fucking stole it.
Yeah, they stole
Yeah.
tips. That's awful. That's disgusting. They don't even need it. That tips aren't probably not even that much at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
That's just awful. That's
Well,
literally just,
Uber did the same thing too.
So did DoorDash and Grubhub.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I figure that because electronic tip stuff, I could imagine. Yeah, that's just fucking weird. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't know. I've heard people tell me that they make pretty decent money using Uber and DoorDash. No, DoorDash. DoorDash and the other one that's like DoorDash. Is it Grubhub? There's another one too.
Uber Eats.
And then there's another one too.
But someone told me they worked for DoorDash. Postmates, yeah. Someone told me they did DoorDash on the side, just like whenever they didn't work, and they said they basically just make way more than what made it worth it for them. Because you don't even have to drive far if you don't want to. You can just deliver stuff around the same area over and over and over. You're not even wasting that much gas. So they're like, it's way worth it what you make compared to like what you spend in gas and just making like a lot of money per night. And it's like, that's cool, but yeah, that's fucked up that people are getting their tip money stolen.
Mm-hmm.
One thing, I wanted to bring this up. It's kind of off topic. It's kind of more on topic of what we were talking about earlier. But when me and Doug were talking about how there's like a disconnect going on with nothing has changed. But what's worse is that during the pandemic, nothing changing because like you have to pay the same prices for college and you're not even getting college. You're getting like online classes. You're getting like limited students per class. You're getting like everything's different now, but people pay the same. People pay their workers the same for not going to work and not using the work equipment. Like if you work in an office, you are being paid the same to not use any of the office benefits, and you have to use all of your own shit at home. But you're being paid the same. And when you go back to work, you're still going to be paid the same. Even though now it's like, well, why don't I just work from home then? Why are you forcing me to be here? Like I can just all from home.
Yeah.
Or why don't you pay me more to be here? Or why don't you pay me more because I'm using my own equipment at home? You know, there's multiple arguments to be made about why you deserve more. And also, working at restaurants, your life is at risk. You are considered a hero now.
An essential worker. I
And
remember when that came out.
The same.
Like, yeah.
You paid the fucking exact same.
We can get vaccinated.
Yeah, we need to get vaccinated. Because I think in a few more months it's going to be opened for everyone, so it might be harder. So we might as well do it now.
Wait, we get it because we're restaurant workers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or is it restaurant specifically, or is it just essential?
It's like food.
Okay, that's cool.
I get the whole thing is like
Basically
food production,
yeah.
like basically working with food and agricultural shit.
If you have to work around people, if you work at a grocery store, restaurant, or bar, or anything that your job is forcing you to still work around people, you should get it. And yeah, so all these people putting their lives at risk now because of COVID, putting their families' lives at risk, and all that other stuff, paid same amount. And not only that, but you might have to be doing more stuff because now you're going to have.
Well, the only difference is they get ads about them.
Yeah,
about them being heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love that AdSense I'd be getting. That still waiting for, I guess. Yeah. So basically, everything got worse and harder, and everything proved that we deserve more money, and we're still having this conversation about. Literally, the economy will shut down and be destroyed and be ruined if we shut down all the fast food chains. Well, we can't pay these people more money. It's like, oh, apparently our entire economy relies on fucking shithead, retard, monkey-brained fast food workers, but we can't give them more money.
And GameStop.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with GameStop and don't fuck with my Mickey D's, because those are holding the economy up.
Yeah, apparently.
Solo.
Apparently our economy can't work without these... It's almost like these people who do all the work at the bottom should have some money. I don't know. Or maybe they should just live with their parents forever and not be able to afford anything and whatever, it's fine.
Why are millennials destroying the housing market? Because They don't.
Because we don't have any fucking money.
Yeah.
Can you believe the nerve of millennials for not buying homes? They just choose to not buy homes. Yeah, I wonder why.
Scrooge McDuck piles of money and not a house. They're still having mom make them pancakes in the morning. Like,
why are millennials having
having
babies
nothing.
later than other generations?
We love being in our 40s and having done nothing with our lives. We hate having vacations.
We hate having
experiencing the world.
Children and families.
We hate not having hobbies. We hate becoming really fat because we can't exercise and work out. We hate doing all these things. Like, we just want to fucking be miserable all the time. We're also the generation that has, like, a huge increase in, like, prescription drugs and disorders and stuff. And you have to wonder if it's because science is better or because we're more fucked up.
I think it's both.
I think it is, too. I think the internet has caused high anxiety in, like, all generations from now on. Like, I think we're just all going to have really bad anxiety.
I think Gen Z is taking it better than millennials did. I think there's definitely some of that anxiety in there, too.
They kind of got like little brothered in. Like, we kind of, like, showed them what they need to do.
Well, the internet got Facebookified between, like...
Yeah, they grew up with Facebook, basically. Whereas we got it, like, way later.
Like,
well, I got it. Facebook happened, like, right when I was, like, a freshman in high school. So
I think Facebook was, like...
YouTube was a very different website.
Yeah, everything was different.
It was really weird.
You could find all kinds of fucked up stuff all over the internet.
If you're on Twitter, make sure you follow a Twitter called Ancient Memes.
I do, yeah.
It is some of the funniest fucking content. Like,
those old 2010, 2012...
It'll be, like, 4 pictures of a dude, and he's like, hey, ladies. Second one, listen. Third one, don't show me your boobs. Fourth one, show me your mind.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'll just sit there and, like, chuckle to myself for 10 minutes.
I remember that one from back when that was, like, a new thing.
Yeah.
That was super popular,
It's, like, it's, like, really grainy, shitty quality pictures of, like, one person making almost the same face in all of them.
But super emo.
Yeah, well, there's one that's like this girl who looks like she's like 12, and she's making these horribly non-photogenic faces. Like, she just doesn't know how to take a selfie at all. And she's like this, when her cheeks are puffy, and her smile's like... I had to make noises so you guys understood the smile, because they could see, you can't. And it's like, boys, if you want this, and points to herself... She's like, you have to look like this, and it's like a boy band with all shirtless and all muscular. And it's like, you tell them, sister. But no, the best one of all time. I haven't seen this one on Ancient Memes yet, but I'll never forget this because it makes me laugh. It's like literally like a 7-year-old boy, and he's like, "Fellas, you mess with my sister," and the third one is her, and then she goes, "Watch it, he means business." And the fourth one is, "You get these hands." And I'm like, that's my favorite of all time, because you know the sister made him do it, or she's the one who made the meme and she just took pictures of him. But the third one of her being like, "Listen, guys, I'm serious about this." That's the best. It's like clearly his older sister being like, "Oh, I'm gonna make a funny meme."
Yeah.
God damn it, I love Ancient Memes.
I think it's weird.
They're all like using the Rage Comics faces, like lay trampoline, lay whatever, and they're not even funny at all. They're just like the things only like D&D nerds would laugh at in the 90s. It's like, it's amazing.
So
I fucking love it.
I'm like, I was born 2002.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like on.
Basically,
I'm more
someone died in 9/11. You were reincarnated.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically, what happened? Yeah.
So I'm like,
he's Al Qaeda.
Yeah,
no, it's not. I meant the Americans who died in 9/11. Not the pilot. Well, I guess Shane could have been the pilot.
Wait, that's why I always have those dreams. I'm flying a plane and I wake up at the last second. But I was like, I'm like more Gen Z, but also I can relate to some of the millennial stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of Zoomers are basically right there with us.
Especially older ones.
Yeah.
Like, I thought I was considered a millennial for a long time, and then they switched it, and then they kind of switched it halfway back, so now I'm a zillennial.
Yeah, it was the same thing. I saw something that was like, if you were born before 2002, you were a millennial, and I was like, Okay.
Aw.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Or actually, no. It was like, I think I was a millennial, but
So I've seen it go back and forth between like all the way to like 2003 to 1995,
mhm.
and I'm right in the middle. So it's like,
Yeah.
eh. Like,
Yeah, that's my little brother is. I think he's about the same age as you, Jeremiah, and he's like, calling him a Zoomer is just weird to me because when I think of Zoomers, I think of people like Shane and even your little brother.
Yeah.
Because like they just grew up in a way different time. Like
Post 9/11.
my little brother grew
Internet
up
was
with
a
N64
thing,
and
yeah.
PS1, and he didn't like he didn't have Facebook till he was like in middle school. I didn't have it until high school. He didn't have it in middle school. Like they like his introduction to the internet is a lot different from like Zoomers today. Like his version of the internet was like the weird GeoCities websites like we had, and so like to me it's
Live
just, like,
leak.
yeah,
like-
Live Leak. I'm talking when I say
Right, well,
GeoCities,
okay.
I mean like those websites people would make themselves, but they're all just the same like templates,
Yeah.
Right.
and they're just like, this is my website. I like ducks. Here's some
Well-
ducks, and then you scroll down and it's like quack quack, and that's the whole fucking website.
Yeah.
That's like, because I grew up on like the old YouTube, and I remember when like Facebook started becoming really big and all that shit.
Yeah,
So like I can relate to some of the stuff, but then like
yeah.
I don't know.
But I mean, you would have been like 6 or 7 when that was going on too.
No, I was probably like 10 or 11.
My yearbook when I was in 8th grade is
Because
all
I remember I was
is,
so mad I couldn't go on Facebook until I was 13, and I was like 11 or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I hated it. I wanted to stay on MySpace forever. I didn't want to switch to Facebook.
MySpace was just barely before my time.
Yeah, and then everyone just MySpace just like in a couple months just became a desert wasteland. No one was on it anymore.
Like I remember all the
MySpace was
troll
fucking
face.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember all the troll face memes.
Rage
and,
comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember Meme Run on the Wii U?
I didn't have a Wii U.
The Meme Run game just had nothing but like their actual Rage comic faces in it, and like it was just a runner. And if you like died, a little like Call of Duty gun would pop up and have like the X's on you and stuff. And it had like Pepe in it and all this weird shit.
Yeah.
And people were like, you people actually own those memes. You can't just put that in a game. So
I remember going on Cool Math games in school and playing like
cool math games, yeah. I
those
cool math
rudders.
games.
Yeah.
I know cool math.
Playing
Fancy Pants Adventure.
Yeah, I fucking love that
Dude.
game.
People, it's so because like I'll go on these websites that like tier lists for Smash characters, like
Fancy.
yeah, no, they'll be like they'll post like every video game character they can find, so that way they can be like, here's every video game character. Who do you think's gonna be in Smash? And like Fancy Pants will always end up there. Like he's a Flash game character. Fancy Pants is not a real video game character, but everyone knows Fancy Pants
Yeah.
because he's a stick figure with orange paint.
What's that? Did you play the runner game?
I don't know if I played many runners on Flash.
I can't remember what it was called, but it was big on.
There was like a website called like
Was it like a 3D one?
Mm-hmm.
it was
And
called
you
like
have to jump over like holes and then like walk on the walls.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called either, but I know.
Well,
what
you're like a
talking about.
gray space alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you guys know these runner games.
And the cubes or the rectangle game where you like flip it around on the board and try to get it into the hole. Do you remember that?
Papa's Pizzeria.
Oh yeah,
I don't know. I don't know these ones.
See, I
I know like the old weird Cartoon Network games and
I remember
I know that stuff. I
Ben
don't know.
10 games.
Cartoon Network would make like these badass games on their website,
Mm-hmm.
and that was always fun. But
Flash games were fucking awesome.
oh yeah, I played a lot of Newgrounds stuff. Sometimes a Newgrounds game would just be like a fucking real game, and other times it'd be like you just click stuff and stuff happens. But you never knew it. It's like it would show the year, but it'd be like down in the corner, all small. So you just would be like, "Oh, this game looks cool." You don't know if you're getting like an amazing, like almost real game quality game, or just like the worst thing ever made by like a 14-year-old.
I didn't.
Newgrounds was
I never
my
knew.
fucking life in middle school and high school. Like that was my. I watched like everything religiously.
Yeah.
That's why I know about Sick Animation.
I didn't ever know about Newgrounds, but I played Newground games on Cool Math.
Yeah, because people would either steal games or the uploaders would actually re-upload them everywhere. So
One Cool Math Games was famous for being like
just a collection of games.
when you could play it in school.
Oh,
Yeah,
Usually
that's how-
it wouldn't get
that's
blocked.
Because it was
why-
called Cool Math Games,
Yeah.
but it wasn't even actually educational games.
Some of them were, and some of them
were.
weren't.
There was a website called Pogo that was actually run by EA.
I remember Pogo.
And it was literally, because it had like some bookworm games or whatever, which bookworm's on like every website anyway. It was like you could play these games at school And what the thing is, though, is that they had a chat room. And so anytime we go to the computer lab, we would just, everyone we knew, like, literally the entire class got in on it at one point, and we were all just, like, looking at each other like, let's all play the same game, and we can talk. And then we just, like, literally just, like, talk in a chat room together. That was, like, our way. And then, like, a teacher, because kids are fucking dumb. There's, like, let the teacher see them chatting. Because it has, like, the chat bar on the side, and they're all playing the same game. And I think some people are just playing the same game just because they're like, oh, they're playing that game, I'll play this game too. And it's like, we're playing this game just so we can talk to each other. And then a teacher was eventually like, who's this username and why are they saying this? I'm like, like, literally the entire class was silent, like, no one was going to rat them out.
Well,
It was fucking nuts, man. It was great. Being a fifth grader was fun.
Like, who is this Tyler Leasy?
No.
Why is he saying these things?
You gotta make your username cooler. You got
who is MILF Lover 426
fucker? Oh, this one's a wholesome name. Big Jugs Milk Drinker. Oh, this is normal. Okay.
But we would.
Who's Black Pussy? And it's like actually the weird cat girl in the class. Wearing a cat shirt, literally.
We would always play Bloons Tower Defense on Cool Math games, and my teacher was like, the fuck is that? That's not an educational game. We're like, but it's about money. It's about spending money and managing money. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she would just let us play it.
When I was in high school, I would just bring in a flash drive that had, I told you guys before, but I put movies and games on it. I beat Zelda and Donkey Kong Country on it. My teacher walked by and was like, oh, what website are you playing Donkey Kong on? And I was like, I just brought Donkey Kong with me. Like, and he's like, oh, that's cool. So you just play Donkey Kong on your downtime? I was like, yeah, but I also play it during video production, and I also play it in English class instead of writing papers. Like, like if I was done writing in English class, because I was a fast writer, I was like, I'm gonna play Postal 2, and it's just like playing Postal 2 is a shooter where you can whip your dick out and pee on things, and you can put cats on your guns to silence them, and you can take catnip and you get all high, and you have to kill like KKK people and terrorists. Like, you go to a church to amend. The mission is amend your sins. And then a bunch of Muslims come with machine guns. They go, fuck the Christians! And the priests, like, all the Christians are just priests, and they all pull out AK-47s. It's like, it's been time, boys. And you just, like, kill all of them.
That's like, I've heard about that game, because that's, like, a super controversial.
Yeah, Postal 2 is, well, like, but the thing is, the mission starts with you signing a petition to allow violent video games, and then you go to the studio headquarters that made Postal 2, which you work at, apparently, and a bunch of protesters who hate violent video games go, enough is enough, it's time to attack, and they all, like, pull out guns and throw Molotov cocktails, and you have to, like, defend the studio from the crazy protesters who hate violent video games. And then those same protesters are just wearing orange shirts the next day, and they try to burn down a library, and you have to kill them to defend books from being burned down. They have a point in this extremely vulgar, violent game. Yeah. But in the same violent, vulgar game, you also get kidnapped and get put in a gimp suit, and you have to kill all the rednecks trying to rape you. And also, there's a mission where it's like, the mission names are always funny. Like, it's like amend your sins is going to church, and then you have to, like, kill everyone. But one of the missions is like pay respects, and you go to your father's grave and you start pissing on it. And then that's when you have to fight people. Like, the missions are just fucking hilarious in that game. I had
Zelda, that Awakening game.
Yeah. On
my calculator, on my TI 94.
You had Link's Awakening on your calculator.
Yeah, because
it was a Game Boy game.
Because on those calculators, you can program shit on it. So you just go online and get a program for Zelda onto the calculator.
I would play like RPGs on it, but they'd have like no images. It would just be like text.
No, this one had like actual, because it's a graphing calculator.
Yeah. My older brother had one, and we would play games on it, but they were never that good.
I had Zelda and Mega Man and Pokemon Blue.
That's funny. They just put literal Game Boy games on it. I guess calculators got more powerful over time. Because we had to play like weird homebrew games. They'd be like fan games and stuff, and they'd always be terrible. But the RPG ones would be fun because you could actually like just play them, basically.
We should do the AI dungeon that Oni always does.
I kind of want to, but like it seems like a clusterfuck train wreck. But maybe we should do it one time just to see how bad it gets.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is some of my favorite content. We should probably wrap this one up.
Wrap up.
It's 1 minute, 1 hour, 30 minutes, but that's fine because it's been a while. So
Yeah. So.
This was two. This was just 2 45-minute podcasts.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We could say that. I couldn't. No, I won't because then we'll just cut out halfway yelling about politics. So.
Yeah.
Most of it's been political, but I'm fine with that. You know what? I say fuck it. We should just go full politics. We're just gonna we're gonna do our own daily show.
Left-wing Ben Shapiro now.
Left-wing Big Shapiro. We talk really fast.
Yeah.
Talk about hypothetical facts.
Actually, hypothetically...
Ooh, I'm so glad you brought Ben Shapiro because now I get to put in that video clip. Did you guys see that I put in the text chat? He goes, all right, I have full permission for my wife to do this.
Oh, yeah.
And he blows a kiss. He literally goes, like he fucking does the whole thing. And then he instantly starts flexing his muscles right after. And I'm like,
I didn't see that at all. Who do you do that? Why do you do that?
It was like a donation thing. I think he has earnest fans who really want him to do certain things. But like, there's this meme where someone compiled all the times he goes, all right, I'll show you the guns, and he like flexes his arms. People kept complaining because he always flexes the same one. So I think because of that, he flexed both this last time. But he literally blew a kiss and then did it.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is OnlyFans. You are worse than a
And he got
streamer.
permission from his wife.
Yeah, I got permission from my wife. People keep memeing on him because he made fun of the WAP song. Okay, look, I think he was tongue-in-cheek about it because he said, well, if you need a bucket and a mop, then you have a medical problem. Like, no fucking shit, okay? It's called a joke. The reason it's funny is because typically you wouldn't need a bucket and a mop for a wet-ass pussy. But in this particular circumstance...
For Cardi B...
This pussy is so wet that you need a bucket and a mop. It's called comedy. It's literally a funny line. The first time I heard that line, I laughed because it was like, Cardi B, you silly girl.
Silly kids.
But people meme on him, so he can't get his wife wet. After seeing him blow that kiss, I'm pretty sure she loves that shit because he knows exactly what to do. He acts like he was in drama club. He acts like he's been in plays before, and he has because he can sing just like his sister can. Like, they're both art students. The difference is he tries to act smart, but he's not.
Wait, he got a degree? He got a useless degree that he always...
No, I don't know what his actual degree's in. Probably something hopefully good.
Poli-sci or something.
Because he used to write for the Daily Wire. You know, in the early 2000s, he was writing anti-gay stuff, and now all he's done is he went to all of his old articles, hit Control F on gay, backspaced all of it, and rewrote trans, and now it's okay. But he says the same exact arguments he used to say about gay people, but about trans people now. And it's just like, dude, you only do that because you know if you said something about gay people, you would get skewered. Like, you know people are still weird about trans people.
Right.
Which is why I push it.
Should wrap up.
Alright, wrap it up.
Okay, alright.
Well, let's have an ending. Are we gonna stream sometime soon, or are we gonna stream? We might stream Saturday. Don't know yet.
Maybe we might.
There'll be an episode next week because we're gonna not skip a week again.
Yeah.
We're gonna get back on it.
So expect to hear more of our beautiful voices, especially mine. I know you guys all come here for me. So yeah, thanks for watching, listening, using those ears.
Watching that clip of Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
Two times more.
Okay, with the permission of my wife. Here we go. You ready? You ready? Okay. That lingered in the memory.
We really
I really like that clip of Ben Shapiro.
honestly, you should be thanking us for that clip.
Yeah.
For being able to watch that clip. So, yeah, thanks. Wasteland Podcast, signing out.
Bye.
Bye.